Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about Nerf. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little game to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. We all know the name Nerf, but you ever wonder where it came from? Some say it's a scientific acronym for non-expanding recreational foam, a term supposedly coined by chemical engineers to describe the unique way the foam trapped gas bubbles without growing in size. Many people say that this acronym turned up in the 1960s as they were filing patents, and the marketing team thought that sounded cool, so it became the name. What do you think? Is Nerf really some technical jargon, an acronym that became a brand name? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is visco-elastic. That's viscoelastic. The word viscoelastic is a portmanteau, a word made by blending two others, combining viscous and elastic. In the world of physics and material science, a viscoelastic material is one that exhibits both thick, fluid-like characteristics and bouncy spring-like qualities when it's deformed. The visco part comes from the Latin viscum, referring to the sticky juice of mistletoe berries, while elastic comes from the Greek elastikos, meaning propelling. When you squeeze a piece of Nerf foam, you're witnessing a complex internal struggle between these two physical properties as the material resists your hand but eventually yields. The physics behind viscoelastic material is all about the way it handles energy. When you compress a Nerf ball, the elastic component in the foam wants to store that energy and snap back to its original shape immediately, like a metal spring. But the viscous component acts like a thick liquid, absorbing some of that energy and slowing the movement down, which is why the foam doesn't just explode out of your hand. This unique balance is what gives Nerf its signature squishy feel. It's soft enough to be safe when it hits a window, but it's resilient enough to regain its shape thousands of times without wearing out or becoming permanently flattened. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about Nerf. Number 1. The very first Nerf product ever sold was a 4-inch foam ball designed so kids could play ball inside the house without breaking anything. In 1969, an inventor named Reyn Guyer approached Parker Brothers with a game that used foam pieces as cavemen. The company didn't see so much potential in the game, but they were very interested in the foam. They realized that a soft, lightweight sphere would be a perfect solution for parents who were tired of broken vases and shattered windows. They marketed it with the slogan saying, quote, "Throw it indoors. You can't damage lamps or break windows. You can't hurt babies or old people," end quote. The ball was an instant sensation. It sold more than 4 million units the very first year after it hit the shelves. This success proved that there was a massive market for safe play that didn't require going to the park or a backyard. It laid the foundation for an entire industry of foam-based toys that would eventually evolve far beyond just a simple round ball. Number 2. Nerf blasters didn't actually come on the scene until almost 20 years after the brand was established. Now, before I get into anything else on this, I think I should clarify a little bit of terminology. Many people will commonly refer to them as Nerf guns, but the official preferred term by the company is Nerf blasters.
They call them blasters for the same reason they make them bright and colorful. They're trying to keep their toys, which are intended for fun and play, completely separate and distinct from dangerous firearms. While we associate Nerf with all sorts of different projectiles, the first one didn't come out until 1989. It was the Blastaball, which shot colorful foam balls. It has a simple pump-to-fire mechanism that relied on air pressure to launch the soft ammunition across the room. This was a massive pivot for the brand, moving from simple sports equipment to the action-adventure category that dominates their sales today. As kids responded to this new way of using Nerf beyond just a simple game of catch, but focusing on the sort of competitive, tactical elements, the toys became increasingly complex. In 1992, they introduced the Sharpshooter, the very first Nerf blaster that used the iconic long, skinny darts. These darts also featured small fins for stability. Number 3. There's a professional-grade Nerf Pro line designed specifically for competitive foam fighting athletes. As children who grew up with Nerf became adults, they didn't want to stop playing, leading to a massive Nerf modding community that builds custom Nerf blasters. To cater to this dedicated fanbase, Hasbro eventually released the Pro and Rival series, which are designed for high-velocity performance. Some of these can fire projectiles at speeds over 100 feet per second, which is much faster than the standard toy versions. These competitive Nerf blasters often use spherical high-impact rounds instead of the traditional darts because they're more aerodynamic and predictable over long distances. Competitive leagues now exist all over the world featuring organized tournaments that look a lot like paintball or airsoft, but without the mess or the bruises. It's turned the backyard hobby into a legitimate tactical sport with its own specialized equipment and strategies. Number 4. The foam used in Nerf products is a specialized polyurethane that contains tiny pockets of CO2 gas. The unique squishy feel of a Nerf product comes from a chemical reaction during the manufacturing process that creates open cell foam. As the liquid polyester resin reacts with water, it releases carbon dioxide gas, which forms millions of microscopic bubbles throughout the material. Because the cells are open, air can move freely through the material, acting like a sponge and giving it its signature velvety texture. It's also why Nerf balls get very heavy if they get wet, as the water fills up those tiny CO2 pockets. This lightweight, gas-filled structure has inspired engineers to see how far they can push the material. The world's largest Nerf blaster was built by the engineer Mark Rober. His 12-foot-long pneumatic creation used the same physics principles as a traditional blaster to launch oversized darts made from plungers attached to pool noodles at 40 miles an hour. By scaling up the air pressure to match the increased surface area of the foam, Rober proved that the science behind a tiny toy ball is powerful enough to stick a plunger to a glass window from dozens of yards away. And our fifth and final fun fact for today, the inventor of Nerf also brought us the legendary game Twister. Reyn Guyer wasn't just a one-hit wonder in the toy world. He was a creative powerhouse who fundamentally changed how families interact. Before revolutionizing indoor sports with foam, he developed a game called Pretzel, which involved people using their bodies as playing pieces on a giant floor mat. When he pitched the idea to Milton Bradley, they renamed it Twister, and it became a global sensation that's still a staple of game nights today. Guyer's ability to think outside the box allowed him to see potential in materials that others overlooked. After finding success with Twister, he applied the same play anywhere philosophy to a piece of foam he found in his workshop, and this eventually led to the creation of the Nerf ball.
Now for some news you can use. We've all had that frustration of Nerf darts getting squished or bent after being stepped on, but you don't have to throw them away. You can actually revive your darts using a common hairdryer. Just set your hairdryer to a low heat setting and rotate the foam dart in the warm airflow for about 30 seconds. The heat causes the air inside the foam's microscopic cells to expand, which pushes the foam back into its original cylindrical shape. Just be careful not to get it too hot or you might melt the glue holding the tip on. It's a quick and easy way to fix your Nerf darts, which will actually improve the Nerf blaster's accuracy and save you from having to buy expensive refills. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked, did the Nerf toy actually get its name from technical jargon, an acronym standing for non-expanding recreational foam? Well, this one's a fallacy. Believe it or not, non-expanding recreational foam is what we call a backronym. That's when people take a word that already exists and make up a phrase to fit the letters after the fact. While the foam is technically non-expanding once it's molded, the name actually came from the world of off-road racing. The creators at Parker Brothers named the toy after Nerf bars, which are the protective bumpers on racing cars used to nerf or nudge other cars out of the way. They thought the word sounded sporty, punchy, and most importantly, soft. The scientific-sounding acronym was actually created by fans years later because it just sounded so great. So no matter how wonderfully it seems to fit and how official it sounds, it didn't actually come from the engineers in the lab. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about Nerf with me today, and be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.